My second guest is Himmath Singh.
That's right.
You're a freshman, Palo Alto High School, California.
Yes.
I wanted to know what students in high schools are thinking about climate change. And tell me, what did you do, or what did you find out?
Well, one of the most important things I found out was although 2/3 of students are very worried about climate change, they feel powerless to do something. Because, I mean, what can a kid do other than biking, recycling, reusing? We're not going to go out and, like, build windmills or hydro, like, stuff. And also, solar panels cost millions of dollars, maybe even more.
So 2/3 of the students. Give me some idea. What group of students did you approach?
Actually, I went to my teacher and asked if I could give a survey to my biology class of 9th graders. And there were about 30 of them, roughly half for girls, half for boys. And so I handed out, first I stood up, I explained what I was doing, and then I handed out the survey to each individual. And there were about 8 questions, and so I filled it out.
So what was the second most important thing you discovered from your survey?
Was that although 90%, the second thing that stood out to me was although 90% of students are convinced the climate is changing, only half of them understand what causes the climate to change. So that stood out to me.
Okay, so they weren't sure if it's caused by man or some other reason. Okay, and what was the third most important thing you discussed?
Most students agreed that terrible things would happen if we let this climate change happen. And most came up with like images such as polar bears dying, the ice melting in polar ice caps, skyscrapers underwater. And the one that stood out most to me was oceans rising and polar ice caps melting.
All right, good. And was there another insight you discovered?
Actually, a lack of education of this topic in high school, actually. We don't have a class about it. Teachers sometimes talk about it, I mean, like, on a very need-to-know basis. And then that's about it. So it was just lack of knowledge about this.
Now, this is my very last question. What motivated you to accept my challenge to come on this TV show and share information about what high school students think about climate change?
Well, first, I was actually very curious to see what my peers thought about climate change. And then another reason was I thought, why don't I just learn about climate change while I'm at it? And also,
it takes a little guts to come on a television show, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you're a young person. All right, and I want to thank you. You've done a wonderful job. Hi, I'm Michael Killen. My guests have been Professor Aldo De Rosa from Stanford University and Himmath Singh, freshman from Palo Alto High School in Palo Alto, California. Well,